Hello, I'm forecaster Nathan Kitchens with the Convective Weather Team. Just dropping by with a video forecast on this Monday, September 28, 2015. And I just want to make note real quick on these video forecasts. We're going to be making some changes here with these videos that I've been doing. You may recall that I usually get these videos out on a Monday and I kind of focus on what the weather pattern, general weather pattern will be for that week. And I also will sometimes show you a longer range forecast. I want to make some changes. Going to start focusing on posting more video forecasts. This means I'm going to post a video about every other day at least. And I'm going to focus more on a short range forecast, kind of your out the door forecast, what you can expect for the day and heading into the next day. Really more like a 2-day forecast. And again, I will focus more on a short range forecast. These will be shorter videos. And I'm going to try to get these videos posted pretty early in the day. I plan on between 6 and 7 in the morning Eastern time when these videos will actually be posted onto the Facebook and website, arcvecweather.com website as well. And I know that I found a lot of people actually will log on to their social media websites like Facebook, Twitter, and those kind of things in the mornings before they head to work. And I think these videos will be very beneficial to a lot of you guys. As you head out the door in the morning, you can click on the video forecast, get an idea of what the general weather is looking like across the country for today. And if there's any major weather heading your way, of course, we're heading into the fall. We can get some severe weather episodes and more active weather, obviously, going to be in play heading into the next several weeks as we grow deeper into the fall season. So I really hope you enjoy these video forecasts, and let's get started with today's video forecast, or today's forecast. Let's start with your weather headlines. Looking at what we have going on, we certainly have very heavy rainfall expected today along the Gulf Coast. With we have Invest 99L in the Gulf of Mexico, and we have plenty of moisture being supplied, pushing northward. We have very heavy rain along the Gulf Coast. We've already seen some very, very heavy totals of rain and flash flooding problems, and flash flooding will continue to be a concern throughout the rest of the day today and heading into tomorrow as well. And also today we're tracking a cold front. This will bring a rain chance really from about Nebraska through portions of Iowa. From Nebraska through portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin down south to portions of Iowa as well. And this front will be tracking along the front. We do have some showers. Those will be impacting parts of the upper Midwest today. And very hot temperatures, hot and dry across the West. That's the big story for the middle of the week. Hot temperatures today, continuing through about the middle of the week at least, across the West, with some very, very hot, well above normal temperatures expected in that area. And I mentioned a heavy rain along the Gulf Coast today. Here is a look at the flash flood watch that is in place from portions of the Gulf Coast of Mississippi through Alabama and the Panhandle of Florida, and down here on the western side of on the west side of Florida here, the Gulf Coast side of things here, where we have Invest 99L here, providing plenty of moisture into this area. We're going to see some very heavy rainfall. We're seeing heavy rainfall right now in the Panhandle especially. We have this red area here. That's a flash flood warning, meaning there's flash flooding imminent or occurring. And you definitely need to be mindful that with the kind of rainfall rates we will be seeing, high water will be a huge concern. Water can start flowing very rapidly, so you'd never ever want to drive or walk over flooded areas with that current moving very quickly. And taking a look at the radar image, this is from 11:30 this morning Eastern time. You can see we really have kind of two areas where low pressure here. We have a kind of a low pressure here spinning here across South Louisiana, providing plenty of Gulf moisture streaming northward and very heavy rainfall. We also have this huge area of rain here, this massive rain, really moving from south, really kind of a south-southwest to north-northeast direction. And the problem is we're getting all this rain continuing to push over, a training effect, if you will, where we have several hours of just continual heavy rainfall. You see that movement here delineated by that arrow I drew there. And just several hours of continuous heavy rain. You can imagine these rainfall rates. There are rainfall rates in this band of 3 inches an hour. So imagine that same band over your area for, say, 4, 5, 6 hours, which is very possible. You can imagine the rainfall totals we will be seeing will be very high. We've already seen as much as 10 inches 10 inches of rain just east of Pensacola this morning. Well, over the past 24 hours, I should say, and more heavy rain just continues to fall, so flooding is going to be a very, very big concern. And we also have plenty of Gulf moisture streaming into parts of Alabama. Now, this is not all bad news, especially for parts of Alabama here, because they really need the rain. But of course, you can get way too much of a good thing in a short period of time, and that will cause more concerns. And we're watching this heavy mass of rain here, just west of the coast here, Florida here, down here and across the central and south part of Florida. And this will be pushing into these areas as we head later on into today and into this evening. And that's why we have that flash flood watch, including those areas as well. And looking at our rainfall potential today, it's really, this is a look at the NOAA Weather Prediction Center, their quantitative precipitation forecast for day one for the next 24 hours. This goes through 8 a.m. Tuesday. And you can see the general idea here. The British Panhandle of Florida will get the brunt of the heavy rains with easily 2 to 4 inches widespread. But there will likely be a band, I would say right in here, in the Panhandle of Florida, where there could be 4 to 6 plus inches of rain throughout this 24-hour period. And again, there will be localized areas that get 8, 9, 10 inches of rain potentially out of this over the next 24 hours, where that rain just trains and sets up for hours and hours and hours, like I showed you in that radar image. That's a big concern, where we could have some very enhanced flash flooding. And you can see some pretty heavy rain extending northward well into parts of Alabama, even in parts of southern Tennessee, getting on some decent rainfall later today and into tonight. And you can also see the rainfall today with that front, that cold front I mentioned across the upper Midwest. This is really some much needed rain for the most part. You can see general totals here range from really, it depends where you live. There will be an emphasis here across portions of eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, where we could see over 3/4 of an inch of rain. So some decent totals there. Overall totals here, though, between about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch or so over the next 24 hours with this front. And heading into today on Tuesday, we're going to see that rainfall expanding from the south. That low pressure will be moving northward. All that Gulf moisture continuing to push northward. However, at the same time, there's that cold front that I just showed you across the upper Midwest today. That cold front will be moving southward. So we're going to have this low pressure pushing northward, combined with this cold front pushing southward. That will limit how far north that low pressure gets. And where those two collide, we're going to see some pretty heavy rainfall tomorrow. And that moisture will really be expanding from the south through the Ohio Valley and right through the northeast. The eastern part of the country is certainly going to see an increase of rainfall heading into Tuesday and Wednesday. And behind that front across the upper Midwest, we'll see cooler temperatures invading those areas, very much fall-like, which will be very nice for those of you who are ready for some true fall air to move in. And across the west, the heat continues. Very hot weather. Temperatures will be much warmer than average. Across the west, like Phoenix, Arizona, for example, could get up to about 105 tomorrow, which your average high is about 96, so that's well above normal for this time of year. Looking at our rainfall potential for the next couple of days, this is the NAM model from 12Z, which is 8 a.m. Eastern Time today, through 12Z, which is 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. Looking at our rainfall totals. No focus on the exact details, but you get the general idea, where we're going to see that moisture transported northward into the Ohio Valley heading into Tuesday. That low pressure pushes northward. That front pushes south here on from the upper Midwest down into the Ohio Valley. And as that front pushes south, it causes the low pressure to kind of push farther to the east and not push as far north in that front. That moisture will continue to be pushed northward into the northeast U.S. You can see all this moisture here streaming into the northeast U.S. heading into early in the day on Wednesday. Some pretty heavy totals expected here across the northeast just over the next from Tuesday and Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. That's when we're going to begin to see a lot of rainfall pushing into this area from Pennsylvania through upstate New York and Vermont and New Hampshire and up into Maine as well. And this is just the beginning, because we're going to see, it looks like, a very soggy week across the eastern U.S. with that low pressure kind of getting stuck and hanging out, providing a continued threat of heavy rain throughout the rest of the week. So a very wet week shaping up, it looks like, for the eastern U.S. And also, before I go, I wanted to quickly talk about the big announcement, the big scientific breakthrough this morning from NASA. NASA has announced that they have evidence of flowing water on Mars. And I just jotted down some quick notes here from that live streaming conference they had at 11:30 this morning. And NASA confirmed that water intermittently flows on the surface of Mars. And analysis from the Mars reconnaissance orbiter shows images from that shows we see these seasonal dark streaks that appear I believe in the spring and summer and fall, and then they kind of dissipate in the fall. These dark streaks on the surface of the planet that are briny. This is briny water flowing across the planet's surface. And for a more scientific formal definition, for a more scientific term here, I should say, those dark streaks that I'm talking about, these are called recurring slope lineae. And also very important to mention that the high salt content of this water keeps the water from freezing on Mars very cold temperatures, because you know that temperatures on Mars are extremely bone-chilling cold, and that high salt content of that water keeps it from freezing on the surface. So this is very, very fascinating stuff. Just continuing the research on Mars, just very, very fascinating. A pretty major breakthrough in continued research on the planet of Mars. Again, this update comes today from NASA. Pretty fascinating stuff. Well, anyway, that's all I have for this video update. And again, I will be posting these video updates about every other day now. I'll try to get these posted pretty early. I plan on getting my next video posted Wednesday morning between 6 and 7. This video should be posted, kind of your out-the-door forecast, what you can expect for today, where the active weather will be taking place. And I hope you enjoyed this forecast. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in to Convective Weather for your latest weather forecast.